Valerie, Thomas 1, point-slope form. Let's look at point-slope form. This is a form of an equation that allows you to use one point and also slope to find the slope-intercept form. The slope-intercept form, if you remember, was the form that we used to help us graph. And that is y equals mx plus b. That's this one. But now let's talk about point slope form, which is the one that we are actually learning about right now. If you take a look at point slope form, you will notice that there's a red y and a red x, and they don't have subscripts next to them. They don't have little ones. The first y and the first x, the ones without the subscripts, they stay as y and x. They stay the variables. They don't get substituted. If you look up here, here's your y and here's your x. So it's similar. These two don't ever get substituted. The m and the b are slope and y-intercept, but the y and the x always stay there. Same with this one. The ones that we do substitute are the y1 and the x1, as well as the slope. So let's look at the next part. The y1 and the x1 are the coordinate points, and they do get substituted. If you had a point of 2, 3, this would be your y, this would be your x, and you substitute them in. And the m is the slope, and it does also get substituted into the equation. Let's look at the explanation. Point slope form is useful for word problems. It is also useful when you don't know the y-intercept and you want to graph something. It will allow you to find the slope-intercept form when you only have a point and a slope. Let's look at an example 1. We're going to write the following in point-slope form. So as you can see, we have the red y and the red x, and they stay exactly the same. Then we go to the y1 and the x1, and we know that the second number is always the y and the first number is always the x. So we're going to take -5 and put it here, and we're going to take 4 and put it there. We also know that the slope is m, so this becomes -3. And that's it. For that part of the question, this will be the first 4 of your exit ticket. You just have to write it in point slope form. Now, the next example is a little more complicated, so stay with me, and you would want to use this as an example when you go to your exit ticket. It's a little bit complicated, but you can do it. Okay, so we know that here, using point slope form to turn the point and slope into slope-intercept form. So we're actually going to change the form in this one. Let's look at the points. The y and the x stay the same. The point is -5 for x and 0 for y. So we put the 0 in here. We put the -5 here. And our slope is -2. And that would go here. So let's rewrite it. Y minus 0 equals -2 times x minus -5. All right, so we are back to here, but this time we're going to keep going. We're going to use distributive property to multiply -2 times x, which is -2x, and we're going to turn this into a plus because when you subtract a negative, it's positive. And we're going to times -2 times 5, and that gives us 10. Since we're subtracting 0, we can add 0, which will cancel it, and add 0, which of course will not change our answer. So our slope-intercept form is -2x plus 10. We started as point slope, we ended as slope-intercept. That's complicated, and ask for help and practice it or rewatch this part when you're doing it. Here's your visual. Again, just the formula you need to memorize. Watch out for negatives. As I showed you in the previous slide, you want to make sure that if you say 3 minus a -2, That is essentially saying 3 plus 2. Watch for your double negatives, okay? You will actually add it. So if you use parentheses, it does help you not to make as many errors. And we used that when we were finding the slope earlier as well. Okay, here are your two sets of exit tickets. This would be for example 1, and this would be example 2. Good luck.